Hi Taurus, this is Ron from Terra of the Twin Sun. Um, yeah, I had a bit of a snafu with Mercury Retrograde, and a bit of a reading was done for you, and it was really beautiful. Um, Rather dark as well. So, this is for Tauruses that are going through spiritual purgation, a type of deep transformational change. I'm sorry. There was a fly. Um, uh, and this has to do with your conscious mind as well as your subconscious and your unconscious. So this reading is rather deep, and it's not for the faint of heart, okay? And it has to do with the spiritual path you're on during Mercury retrograde and the eclipse season of July until the end of it to about the 27th, all right? So I've already done the spread, and it's rather intense. I can show you quickly what it's about. Second, please. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so there's a lot going on for you, Taurus, and hopefully I can make this quick and easy. So basically, on your conscious self, you're dealing with. Here, let's go ahead and do this again. You're dealing with a situation in which you have to release devil-like energy. The devil comes up in reverse. So there's a matter of, in this agent here of Gemini, of the magician, some dark magic that has been recently sort of placed on your situation, in which you have to get rid, on your conscience level, elements of toxicity. This has to do with you, and you came up in your reading on the conscious self, moving towards this energy, okay? Sort of revisiting this energy with the Mercury retrograde, and it has to do with you moving towards this in order to heal this toxicity. Perhaps some sort of toxic connection in which there was someone using a great amount of controlling and domineering force over you, and was stopping you from sort of moving forward with a new type of commitment. And this is caused in a very recent sort of, very current sort of state, the Five of Swords energy, in which you have gone through a lot of mental processing of emotional content on a very sort of deep level, and moving away from this in order to deal and face your demons, as well as face any sort of magical agents that were moving towards moving you towards some sort of retroactive assessment, okay, over a situation. Um, and you also have here with the Three of Swords, you're moving away. You're moving away from this energy. You're moving away from this energy and processing essentially another situation in which there's a lack of joy as well as a great sense of heartache. Especially when it comes to your mental faculties, you've had to deal with heartache, and you're moving away from heartache in order to revisit something in your consciousness, in which you are trying to magically purge out very negative influences and negative toxic cycles and behaviors. Okay, that's your conscious self. And your subconscious self, which is like the next step below, where you're conscious of things but only on a subconscious level. Therefore, it is below the surface of consciousness. What you're trying to pull up is a revisiting of a type of relationship that may have, or a type of offer of a type that may have made you feel content in a way, but you were ignoring it and using your ego to process a new gateway into something. I'm not sure what that is. However, you're revisiting that situation in order to revert a sort of misjustice of imbalance in communications, as well as imbalance in a type of commitment. And you're trying to rectify the situation. Okay, it has to do with also the devil energy in reverse, as well as the magician. You're trying to fix some sort of black magic situation. Okay, also on a subconscious level. We have here the Hanged Man, or La Picota, which is basically the structure of sacrifice, the sacrificial altar, here in the Spanish deck of El Gran Tarot Esoterico. Basically, this has to deal with you feeling in a type of suspension, and you feeling in a type of victim-like mentality, okay, on a subconscious level. And this has forced you to deal with what makes you feel impassioned and forced you to relinquish any types of romance in order to reinstill a secret fire within you. Okay, this has to do with spirituality. Okay, so one reason why you may have rejected very recently this with this Four of Cups, a new cup of some sort of camaraderie, because there was no equal give and take in the situation. Also, because you feel like you may have been a victim of circumstance, and why? Because you were looking towards you're looking backwards towards this strategically and trying to figure out why there wasn't a balance between your groundedness as well as your emotional depth that was running through the green pastures. Okay, you're looking for other green pastures, but you're doing it in a certain way in which you feel left out with the Five of Pentacles energy, in which your passions are rather intense, but you're not seeing the fruition of your passions. Therefore, you're looking back to why you played the victim here and why you sort of did not accept a cup of love here, okay? And it's retroactive, so subconsciously you're working on all this. At the same time, what's deep down inside of you unconsciously is the need for emotional fulfillment and a good family and a good connection with something you believe in, because your inner world is supportive of this, dear Taurus. But it was not sort of manifested unconsciously. It wasn't able to sort of take fruition because you were very much indecisive about making a choice of passion. Your passions weren't being listened to, and therefore the Four of Cups energy came in, and then this sort of negative cycle of the devil is sort of manifesting, and you're trying to figure out why, because there's a black magic blockage, some sort of controlling individual or controlling force over the way your emotional self is being sort of denied, and the way your fulfillment is being denied in a way, Taurus. All right, very harsh truth here. I'm sorry. Onward though. Now, currently, unconsciously, you're working towards this temperance, okay? Trying to sublimate this energy of the Cups energy. Okay, this is love. You're trying to transfer this energy in order to create self-love for yourself and be very practical with the Virgo energy here. Also, with Sagittarius, trying to create a new philosophy that is based on you being able to create. The keyword is create circumstances in which you can sublimate the energy for your own creative good, okay? As well as having to make a choice between two loves, okay? In order for you to feel grounded and see which one you really, really need in your life. And you're trying to work between two cups energy and convert these in order to work with both of them. A new sort of way in being that makes you feel grounded also makes you feel elevated at the same time. Okay, so that has to do with love, and the love situation also links towards your own sort of inner passion, as well as your own sort of self sacrifice. For you, love is a type of sacrifice, and in this sacrifice you reach spiritual sort of transcendence on a subconscious level. At the same time, you're slow currently on your conscious self. You're very slow moving at this sort of transformation in which you can work with love. You're taking your very sweet time with love, and you're not in a rush, and you're looking for peaceful waters consciously, and you're willing to wait a long time to get what you want in this department, okay? But at the same time, for how long? Because there's a lot of toxic energy around you, especially in the past as well as in the near future. A lot of heartache and a lot of processing that needs to be done, and a lot of like magical blockages that are working for and against you in a way, and you feel essentially not very satisfied because you're playing once again the role of the victim, very knowingly on a subconscious level. And it's hard for you to even sublimate all this energy and really sort of make a choice about love, okay? It's very hard for you unconsciously. So it's something that you're not aware of, but it's there, and it's very much irking to be pushed up into moksha, into liberation, up from the unconscious into the subconscious, into the conscious self, all right? Also, unconsciously, you're dealing with forces of nature, forces of the universe in which divine timing is coming into play, and you're actually sort of looking towards this with temperance, looking at it. Okay, so divine timing, the great wheel of change, in which fools become kings and kings become fools. You're looking for that sort of dynamism, trying to create a new philosophy for yourself at the cost of your emotional your emotional sort of capacity, your inner world, okay? So you're trying to logicize all of this unconsciously. However, that is a folly, because if you operate using the mind to reach the unconscious, you're never going to get there. And you sort of realize that on an unconscious level, you're creating and letting these truths formulate themselves, but not at the sacrifice of your own emotional and inner and creative well-being. Your own divine feminine is being listened to in order to create a new philosophy that will help you look for signs. That will help you look for signs. Eventually, this will switch and look for signs in a positive direction strategically to avoid feeling left out in the cold with certain commitments and relationships, okay? Onward, you're trying to move this sort of looking in the universe for signs and synchronicities, but it tends to bring you to a sense of heartache. So, like, there's a vicious cycle in which your mind unconsciously creates these structures that you're not aware of, and it gets pulled beyond your subconscious. It bypasses that in a way. And while you're looking for these signs, your mind activates and hurts your heart very much, as well as makes you not feel happy with certain things that are around you in your immediate environment. You can't at least you can't find joy until after the retrograde season. All right. So let me go through this one more time, and I'll be really quick. Okay. So pay attention. The path to liberation for you, and the path to this Nine of Cups energy. By the way, this is the underscore of the reading. Hold on, let me go through the underscore of the reading. So you're trying to achieve a type of wish fulfillment, okay? A transformation that happens so that you can create in your inner world a lot of peace and beauty and harmony with someone else or with something else, perhaps even with yourself, okay? And this is achieved through realizing that there are inner truths within yourself that are coming up from your emotional world that are constantly being sacrificed in the past in order to sort of logically represent some sort of union with the divine, okay? At the same time, you want to work and store like your commitments so that they may grow and then create for you a new type of inner vision of divine messages that come in this mercurial sort of communication. You want more communication with the divine in a way. At the same time, you want more communication in general and team working, and people you meet, you want more sort of a divine connection, okay, potentially. But then you have to listen to yourself, dear Taurus, because inside for you is the secrets of the universe with the High Priestess here. And the moon here, that is sort of reflective of the sun, is about making the jump from the inner secrets of the universe that are stored within you in your divine feminine, and being able to make the jump and into consciousness. Okay, consciousness towards what? Towards a vision of passion and a structure of passion, perhaps a home or some sort of vision of happiness that was passionately fulfilling, but then yet denied. Okay, denied, with more swords energy in the bottom of that. So basically, what we're seeing here is a need for you to have emotional fulfillment according to the secrets of your inner self that are being listened to in order to create a new sort of commitment towards communication and towards growth with something or some other situations. And then a need for you to tap into the secrets within you and the secrets of the universe by being knowing of this, and knowing of essentially here this sort of vision of the future, which has been somewhat denied, okay? So a passionate project that wasn't sort of ultimately brought to fruition, because you're going through the cycle on the conscious level of trying to purge out devil-like energy, any sort of addictions or psychological foibles, or any aspects of a person or an entity working magic against you that is essentially dark, okay? That's with these two cards here, this dark magic in the recent past. And not only that, you're revisiting this situation or this relationship. You're revisiting, you're moving back towards it very slowly in order to find out why there's so much mental stress on you, and why emotions are being repressed and creating ripples and waves of terrible vibrations currently, okay? So you're revisiting a past relationship, and you're moving, yeah, even if you were to move a different direction, there still is a lot of heartache and processing and a lack of joy with the mirroring threes here, almost like a cosmic pain, okay? Subconsciously, yeah, so like there was a with the Four of Cups, there was essentially something that you refused and then moved away from, but then are coming back to see the sort of gateway, the door that is opened up again. But then you realize that there's no sort of like common balance or like an equal give and take with a certain situation that is grounded at the same time not grounded. Okay, and in your subconscious, there's also an element of self-sacrifice and victimization and martyrdom and sainthood, some sort of spiritual sort of longing to keep your own fires alive with a divine connection. Okay. Also, there is you looking towards this situation of self-sacrifice and look at, instead of looking for other signs in which you are left out in the cold and your fires are burning, but you're not seeing the fruits of your labor, and you feel like you're left out in the cold, and you're looking for a sign from the universe to see why this cycle of victimization is happening to you, and it feels very sad for you on a subconscious level. And it's because unconsciously you're dealing with karma, you're dealing with a big sort of divine, not intervention, but a divine sort of force that is moving you into a cycle of change and moving you into creating a new philosophy that does not deny your own inner world, your own sort of need for emotional fulfillment. And also, you're trying to sublimate. All this energy of love that you have been dealing with. Perhaps you're at a crossroads with love, and you may have made a choice currently, but you're still trying to figure out why this choice is resonant with your own personal philosophy, in which you're trying to convert this energy into something positive, but having difficulty doing so. Also, there is, on your unconscious level, this is the most profound part of your reading, by the way, in my opinion. There is a lack of a sense of completion with your inner world here, and your vision of the future, as well as your vision of family and like wish fulfillment to the ultimate extreme. A lack of it that you're feeling unconsciously because you weren't unable to make a choice between passions, and perhaps you're revisiting them. You're revisiting them because you have to get rid and purge, essentially, of this like crazy dark magic that is happening, that has happened to you in your recent past. Okay. Whew, really intense energy, but ultimately what you really want and what you really need is wish fulfillment, and that comes through I think it was here, yes, because it was here in the reading. So like the Seven of Swords came out, as well as the death card here, and it came up as positive. So like the death card is essentially a reaping of sorts, and you were cutting out very dark aspects that aren't working for you, dear Taurus, okay, during this retrograde season. I'm sorry if it was a little bit rushed or happenstance, but my voice is like, my throat chakra is really fucked up. But what I see, once again, this is the last message from the movement to from your unconscious self to your subconscious self to to your conscious self. There's a need to let go of certain preconceptions about what you really want, what you really need, in order to let the universe create a new truth in which you are able to represent what really is in your inner world. Okay, you've been not listening too well to your inner world. Okay, and that has to do with a type of sacrifice or a type of spirituality in which you realize that these situations in which you feel left out, or perhaps the universe isn't looking to your best interest. You're trying to contact a higher plane, but you can't seem to find it. But when you do find it, you find that you're playing the role of the sacrificial victim, and this victimization comes at the cost of your own inner passions, that are peaceful in nature. It's like a peaceful fire that's burning within you on your subconscious level, and this is causing you to reflect on a certain situation in which you set aside. But this setting aside has triggered both you feeling set aside, as well as you not being able to equally give and take with another party or another type of cup. Okay, and it may be also because this cup was not coming from an equal give and take. It may be something that you didn't really need at the time, Taurus. Okay, moving on the conscious level, you were dealing with a very dark energy in the past. Very dark, very controlling, and very magical in a way, but a dark magic that has had control over you and your inner world, perhaps even in your own inner world, but is conscious. You're conscious of this. There are certain things that you have to cut out because you're moving still back towards this when it comes to new commitments. Like it's like you're trying to make commitments back towards a very dark energy. And this is causing you a great deal of pain because like you walked away from this pain, but then you're still moving back towards negative influences and negative cycles on your conscious self. And this movement back comes in the reverse. So it's like the Knight of Pentacles in reverse indicates that there is a lack of grounding, in a way, a lack of grounding because you're moving back towards negative cycles, which there are these forces of dark magic that are encompassing very toxic energies, obsession, jealousy, and the need to dominate, as well as the need to be sexually gratified through the situation. However, at the cost of heartbreak. And there's a lot of heartbreak as well as a lot of lack of joy in you now and in the near future until Mercury retrograde is over. Okay, my dear Taurus, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This is Ron again, Tarot of the Twin Sun. I really appreciate it. And if you're going to feel this way, I would recommend, if you felt any resonance with this, I would recommend you ground yourself in any way possible. In any way possible. Thank you very much.